Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be on this dramatic makeup look you see right here. This look is perfect for performances or photo shoots or whatever you need. So yeah, let's do this. So first things first, we're going to prime our eyes so that the shadows last as long as possible and look great all day long. Now I'm going to set the primer with a light shadow so that the other shadows blend easier on top. This will also act as a brow bone highlight. Then I'm going in with a shadow that's a few shades darker than my skin and use it as a transition color on the crease. This will make blending darker shadows easier as well. To make sure that this smoky eye is as dark as possible, I'm going to use a black cream shadow as a base. You can also use a black liner if you want to. I'm going to work this shadow on the outer half of my eye and make sure it's as opaque as possible. Don't worry about blending too much yet. Then I'm going back in with the blending brush I used for the transition color and I'm blending the edges of the base. Don't worry if it doesn't blend out completely. We'll fix that in a second. Now I'm going in with a black matte shadow and a small blending brush, and I'm placing this on top of the base. I'm also going to take this into the crease of the eye and blend it out. Also, make sure you can't see the edge of the base shadow that you applied earlier so that everything looks as seamless as possible. If you're not as experienced with blending, don't worry, it's not as hard as it looks. The only thing you need to have is patience, lots of it. And also remember that when working with dark shadows, especially black, you should use a little at a time and slowly build up the color. That will make it a lot easier to blend. Now I'm just using the fluffy brush I used before to further blend out the edges of the shadow. And now we're moving on to the lid, and I'm using a metallic, super pigmented silver eyeshadow, and I'm adding it into the inner corner of my eye, and I'm also blending it in with the black. And then I'm adding a gunmetal color in between the black and the silver to create a smooth gradient between the two colors. Then I'm going back in with a black and I'm just making sure that there are no harsh edges between the three colors. And then, you guessed it, I'm blending some more with the fluffy brush that you've probably seen a million times already. So now it's time to clean the fallout and the edges of our eyes. So I'm just going in with a makeup wipe and I'm making everything look pretty and neat. And then I'm just blending the edges of our eyeshadow out so that they don't look super harsh. And now it's time for the hardest part, which is obviously the wing liner. I'm just creating a somewhat thick wing since we're going to use falsies. And yeah, I'm basically just following the eyeshadow line that we created with the wipes. And I'm just praying that it comes out okay, like always. And if you make any mistakes, don't worry. You can go back in with the wipe and clean up, or you could use some concealer to sharpen the edges of the wing. It'll all turn out fine. And then to mattify and to set the liner, I'm using an angled brush and the black shadow that we've been using, and I'm putting it on top of the liner so that it doesn't go anywhere. So before finishing the eyes, I'm going to do my base. So the first thing I'm going to go in with is some primer. If you want your makeup to look really good for a long time, then I would totally recommend a primer before putting on your foundation. If you don't own one, then I would recommend you use some moisturizer before your foundation instead. And now I'm just gonna go in with a full coverage foundation, and I'm just gonna apply this everywhere on my face and neck with my beauty blender. And I'm also taking the same foundation that we used on our face down my neck and my ears so that everything matches in color and so that it doesn't look weird. Now I'm going in with concealer, which is super important when you're doing a full coverage dramatic makeup like this one. I'm going to mix both colors that I showed in the video, and I'm going to apply them under my eyes in a triangle shape and down my nose, forehead, and chin as well. And then I'm going to blend it out with my beauty blender, of course. Another super important thing for long-lasting makeup is using setting powder. So I'm going to go in with the same sponge that I use for blending, and I'm going to dip it into the loose setting powder. And then I'm going to put it everywhere where I apply the concealer, and it will lock it in place. Now going back to the eyes, I'm going to use a black kohl liner, and I'm going to run it along the waterline and tightline of my eyes. Moving on to the lower lash line, I'm using that same transition color from before, and I'm smudging it under my eyes with a small pencil brush. Then with the same brush, I'm going to dip into the black shadow, and I'm going to run it along the lower lash line, avoiding the inner corners. Then I'm going to go in with the same blending brush, and I'm blending some more. Next, I'm using a face highlighter, and I'm applying it to the inner corners to highlight, of course. After that, all that's left to do is apply mascara and the falsies of your choice, and the eye look is done. Now it's time to do the brows, aka the most important part of doing your makeup. So I'm going to go in with a brow pomade and an angled brush, and I'm running them along my brows. You can use whatever brow tools you have. Then, to make sure the brows don't go anywhere, I'm using a tinted brow gel to set them in place. Back to the face, I'm gonna go in with the same setting powder from before, and I'm setting all over my face with a huge face brush. And now, to add a bit of color to the face and warm it up, I'm just using some bronzer, and I'm applying it to the high points of my face. Then I'm going to contour with a cooler shade to make my face look more defined and sharp. And I'm applying that to the hollows of my cheeks, my nose, and my temples as well. And then I'm going to go in with the lighter shade from the palette, and I'm applying it underneath the contour to clean it up and make it look even sharper. Next, I'm going to go in with an intense blush, and I'm going to apply it to the apples of my cheeks. And now my favorite part, highlighting. So I'm going to go in with an intense cream highlighter. I'm going to concentrate it on the highest points of my face. And on top of that cream highlighter, I'm going to go in with a powder highlighter to intensify the glow and to set the cream. On top of the face, I'm going to wipe the powder below our contour. Moving on to the lips, I'm going to fill them in with a red lip liner to make the color last longer and to make it easier to apply the lipstick after this. On top of the lip liner, I'm going to be using a matte liquid lipstick, red of course, to make sure that the lipstick lasts all day long. And lastly, I add a long-lasting setting spray, and then we're done. So that is it for today's look, you guys. It's a bit different from my other videos, but I really hope you like it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And also, don't forget to subscribe to never miss out on any more videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you. Bye!